Losing yet again another playoff matchup is really eating at me, guys. And although there's been improvement each and every season, the heartbreak continues for our Cubs, and I'm getting a little antsy. We need a championship back to the north side. But first things first, we got to get some continuity going on here. David Ross's contract is up, and we got to bring him back. The man's been good. 4 playoff appearances in this series, and 1 NLCS appearance, which was last season. So we got to bring David Ross back, and that's what we're going to do. We'll also fill our vacant coaching positions as well, and I wish the show made these coaches have a bigger impact than they do, but I have to show you what coaches we are going to go target. As far as players go, Nico Hoerner is my favorite on this list for negotiations, but there's one problem with the defensive maestro. His hitting numbers aren't worthy of the price tag. Asking for $25 million per season is crazy. Yes, he's a 92 overall player, and he would be one of our best on the roster. But that's a lot of money for a guy that leans so heavily defensively, and it's really an inflated overall rating. His 92 is really like an 84, let's be honest. Hitting 250, no pop, not a lot of speed on the base paths. It's just a lot of money to invest in for a player that leans so heavily defensively. We're going to bring back Cody Hoyer. He has been solid in the bullpen, and we're going to let go of Darwinzon Hernandez and Sean Newcomb. This kind of hurts me a little bit because Hernandez was one of my guys back in season 1 of the series, and I was really hoping for more out of him, but you got to know when to cut your losses, and he just really never developed into anything special, and Sean Newcomb is kind of expendable at this point. We'll also let go of Kyle Hendricks as well, and his age is starting to get up there, and he'd pretty much be a bullpen guy at this point on this roster, going into season number 5. And with all of our young pitching prospects on the come up, it sucks, but Father Time is undefeated. With the decision to let go of Nico Hoerner, we're going to use that money on our bullpen and find ourselves a cheaper, similarly productive shortstop, and that man is Nicky Lopez. He plays really well defensively, he can play multiple spots in the infield, good vision at the plate, and decent with the stick. He's basically Nico Hoerner B, and he'd be pretty much the same player. Oh, and did I mention he was born in Illinois? He's the perfect fit over here. We'll also go after Devin Williams and Corey Knebel. Williams kind of being the guy that I really want here, but Knebel being the cheap veteran ad. And unfortunately, we didn't grab Devin Williams, but we did get Knebel, and with about $15 million left in our budget, not a lot of wiggle room there to make another big splash, and I'm thinking kind of at this point we need to look at some trades to cut some dead weight off this team and get a little bit more depth in the lineup. So where I'm looking at that is in our pitching staff. Blake Snell was one of our bigger free agent signings 2 seasons ago, and he just really hasn't been that effective. His ERA has been inflated. He has not had a very good win-loss record, in my opinion. And again, we have a ton of young, budding stars in our pitching staff, and we can afford to lose Snell in his $14 million contract. So I got this trade with the A's, and we're grabbing a Bradley Braves universe player in the name of Carter Billiker. He's from Long Beach State. And Christian Pache, a former top prospect in the Braves organization. He's a defensive-minded outfielder, and his overall rating is better than Brennan Davis's, but again, like Nico Hoerner, the overall rating is a little inflated due to his defensive skill. So I'm looking at Pache as a challenger to Davis, along with PCA, Pete Crow Armstrong. Now, I'm not necessarily looking to replace Davis this season, but he is starting to stagnate, in my opinion, and I'm getting a little worried he's never going to be that star of the team that I was hoping for with that A potential. So we'll need a big year from Brennan Davis this season, or else he could be on his way out. I also love this trade with the Tigers. John Choi, Bradley Braves universe player again, was a two-way player at Pacific, and he hits the cover off the baseball. He's a very good hitter. He was a pitcher. He's an effective pitcher. We could make him a two-way player on our team since we can control his playing time and in those positions, but the CPU doesn't really know how to manage that, I've noticed. So we'll go grab outfielder Roberto Campos, also a guy that was highly sought after in one of our previous drafts. Not a custom player at all. He's just a CPU guy, but he looks pretty good. A guy who looks like he can hit and has some good tools. And Stroman's getting older. He's working his way out of the rotation, based again on our up-and-coming pitching prospects, and he's making a lot of money, so bye-bye Marcus Stroman. So now with our available budget above $35 million, I think it's time to say I'm sorry for clickbaiting you guys. We're bringing back Nico Hoerner. And except now that time has gone on and he hasn't signed with anybody, he's actually knocking down his price tag. So it used to be $25 million, but now he wants 22, We're going to go a little bit under that, offering him 3 years at about 18.8, just a little bit above that. And we're going to give him that contract offer. I think that that's a good one. I would gladly pay a defensive wizard of a shortstop that can hit a little bit for 18 million bucks. I think that that's decent. That's $7 million less per season from what he wanted originally. $25 million is crazy. I don't even think Devers is making that much money. But yeah, we're going to sign Nico Hoerner, guys, and that's really going to round out this lineup, man. Now we've got Pache in here as an extra outfielder. We've got Davis. We've got Seiya Suzuki, Franmil Reyes, Timothy Pierce, Chris Addison, Wilson Contreras. I mean, Devers, Chris Bryant. The team is loaded, guys. The team's loaded right now. Nicky Lopez can kind of be that backup to Nico at this point. They can kind of split some duties here is what I'm thinking. Lopez being a lefty, he can hit against righties. Nico against righties can get some time off. Maybe he can shift over to second base. You know, we've got some options there in the middle of the infield. We've got Salvatore, a youngster, good hitter, a little bit better hitter than Lopez and Hoerner. So I'm looking at this lineup, especially in the middle of the infield. I think we got a ton of depth there. I think we might be the best in the majors as far as that's concerned. So what do you guys think about our offseason? Did you think that it was a little underwhelming? Did you like the fact that we brought Nico Hoerner back at the last second? Let me know in the comment section, guys, because I'm excited about this season going into Season 5. Leave a like if you like this thing. I will see you guys back here next Tuesday for more Cubs action. We're going to get into opening day against the St. Louis Cardinals. We'll get to about the halfway point of the season doing a little simulation, and we'll go from there. So, guys, leave a like if you like this thing. I'll see you in the next one. As always, thank you so much for watching, and peace.